Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling's Real, the unfiltered and uncensored video podcast in which we cover the best and worst shows in the history of professional wrestling. I am Andy, flanked by my brother Kyle.
What's up, Angie?
Angie? Angie? You've never called me Angie before.
You want to try that again, kid?
All right, let's try that again.
You ready to try it again, kid?
I am Andy, not Angie, flanked by my brother Kyle.
How you doing, Andy? I never call you Andy anyway. So.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. All right, hi Kyle.
Hi, how you doing?
As always, we got our brother from another mother, Mario.
Decepticons, Angie's in the vicinity.
Good lord. Boys, how we doing?
Great, man. It's weird. We're recording a little earlier in the day, so I'm not feeling as quibbly, but we'll get there.
Hey, man, if you're feeling quiggly, why not just have yourself a JR thing?
Oh, so right you.
Thank you again, guys, for all of the support. We are on the road to 600 subscribers, and we really appreciate it. Again, from the bottom of our hearts, we love you. Boys, King and Queen of the Ring is in the books. WWE recently ventured to the totally awesome and totally not controversial Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Nia Jax and Gunther are your respective Queen and King of the Ring for 2024. Did you guys watch the show?
I did, and I enjoyed it. Again, it's really hard for me to complain now with the certain circumstances that we're in the wrestling world right now.
Yeah.
So
with Triple H in charge, you can almost, you can get away with having an okay pay-per-view. But this show is great.
Everyone just has a little bit more creative freedom in their craft.
I feel like they're having more fun.
And everyone's more positive, everyone's more fun, nobody's walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's politics, but I'm sure it's not as frequent. And it just looks like the talent's having fun with it.
Boy, do I love watching a fucking pay-per-view at fucking 1 p.m. No, I watched it I didn't watch it live. I watched it later on in the evening. And I was like, results-wise, Gunther, absolutely. I think that's a great fucking move.
Yeah, so happy for him.
The ring. I know a lot of people are pushing for Randy.
I was completely bought in on babyface Randy to come home with the crown, but that's just me being an absolute mark.
Do we think he's going to go heel after this?
I hope so. It looks like they're planting the seeds for a future feud with Cody and Randy.
Yeah, because they had a backstage segment and Randy was like staring at the title the whole time when he was talking to Cody. So I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Heel. If we can get a little glimmer of 2009 Orton, I'm a happy guy.
The thing with WWE programming now is there's lots of shit that ties together, and they're really planting seeds throughout the weeks, and it's really intriguing, and you want to see what happens next week.
They're getting better at overarching stories. WWE, unfortunately, to Vince's credit, they were always kind of good at having an overarching story, but now I feel like in the Paul Levesque era, things just tie together so much nicer.
There's way more connecting the dots of certain things.
Yeah, and certain segments bleed into other segments, and feuds spark other feuds. Like, it's a breath of fresh air, and, Raw's not a chore anymore. I can sit down and enjoy an episode of Raw, and I really can't ask for more.
Not to say it has its, down moments or faults, but I'm just saying, in this whole new era, can't really complain that much to what it was.
Yeah, thank God for that. So, on the AEW side, Double or Nothing 2024 took place from Las Vegas, Nevada. Willow and Mercedes had a banger. Swerve defeated Christian to retain the AEW Championship. Anarchy in the Arena was chaotic as always. It was a great show. AEW's pay-per-views, they don't miss.
Again, we're in a great time to be a wrestling fan.
For sure.
So,
unfortunately, with the good comes the bad.
Of course.
Adam Copeland is on the shelf. My guy jumped off a 15-foot steel cage. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, I think it's the talent trying to top each other and get a great reaction, and which they did. But I think my only fault with that was that should have been the finish of the match.
Did you see that, Mario? Did you see the clip?
I fucking cringed when he hit. I was like, come on, man. I'm happy he's still working there. I was kind of bummed out when he moved over to AEW, but I was kind of excited because I'm like, again, you get that opportunity for that Christian Cage tag team thing. They already faced each other. He took the fucking title off him. Tremendous so far. But yeah, you know, you guys already know my opinions on AEW. It's just like I feel like a lot of it's like it's good wrestling. I think it's good wrestling, but I do feel like it lacks more story stuff that I would like to see more.
And I can't disagree with that at all.
Me neither.
To me, okay, I only watch the pay-per-views. I'll watch TV sometimes. It's a stunt show. It's just like everyone's fucking just doing massive high spots, fucking blading, you know, trying to like just have more shock and awe. But I like a good match that truly shows the storytelling. I mean, even like, you know, we'll talk about it all the time is the WrestleMania 40, just how Cody and Roman,
where it's
the true final
elongated.
boss.
It's a elongated story.
It's like when you finally saw Thanos and Iron Man, because like Thanos finally, like you're the guy who fucked up New York.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
absolutely.
it's like that's just my thing, where it's like, you know, I just wish they would book my guys better. I
understand.
I like MJF. I like Kenny. I like all those guys. But like, you know, guys like Edge and like whoever else just should have stayed with WWE and finish off there. You guys are too old to like what do you have to prove right now? Like you're already a fucking Hall of Famer, bro. Thank you.
Thank you.
They knew.
MJF made his triumphant return, kicking Adam Cole in the nuts and proclaiming that he's not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. It looks like AEW's on an upswing, and that's great news.
It is. I was just gonna say, even though there are the storyline and continuity issues, I feel like they are working on that. They are slowly working on that. You can see on TV. If you watch weekly, you can definitely pick up some things they build up and all that stuff. And especially with MJF coming back, you need that.
Oh, yeah.
I love AEW, but AEW needs MJF at this time.
And the industry needs a healthy alternative.
Because if you don't have an alternative,
WWE's gonna suck again.
WWE's gonna suck. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, Nate. That makes sense. Though this year's King of the Ring is now over, we thought it'd be fun to look at another King of the Ring tournament. That's right, boys. We're going back to the year 1996, the year I personally fell in love with wrestling. We're covering the 1996 King of the Ring, the birth of Austin 316. This event is obviously famous for the industry-shifting 316 promo, but I feel like nobody talks about the show other than that. It was a very specific era.
Very specific, where you still have the hella corny, over-the-top 80s characters that are still with the company for some reason, and then you have the just like realistic gimmicks that really make you vibe with them, and you just buy in on their characters. Even with the character type gimmicks, they were getting a little bit better with that too, with Undertaker and Mankind.
Oh fuck yeah, we'll get to that.
And remind me, put in the time, what is WCW doing right now? Is Hogan there?
WCW was really sticking it to Vince around this time. And it would only get worse, because 2 weeks after this show, the NWO was formed to Bash of the Beach.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, yeah, this is literally right before Attitude is starting to rise.
So, now it's WCW versus WWF, full force.
Vince has to do something different to stand out.
Yeah, and he was... WWF was throwing everything at the wall to see what stuck. As you can tell by this show, there's comedy, there's, you know, great wrestling, there's, like, you know, over-the-top characters, and there's kind of, like, low-key characters. It's a really weird time, and I can't wait to get into it. Shouts out to Mario for suggesting this one. This is when I started watching. This is, like, my earliest memory of wrestling.
Wow.
I can't wait to dive deeper with you boys. What do you say we get on with the show?
Let's go.
it.
The opening video package shows tonight's matchups. Ultimate Warrior versus Jerry Lawler.
Oh, hell yeah.
Undertaker versus Mankind.
Woo!
Goldust versus Ahmed Johnson.
Ooh.
Shawn Michaels versus the British Bulldog. And of course, the King of the Ring tournament matches. Really good card, but not the greatest card in WWF history like the video package says.
No, but yeah, I know, right? Why did the video package say that?
Tonight, it's the greatest card ever in the history of the WWF King of the Ring.
I think it's just, you know, Vince.
Hyperbole.
Yeah. Vince loves doing that.
King of the Ring 1996 is live from the Mecca Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Standing by is our commentary team, Jim Ross and Vince McMahon.
How do we feel about this commentary team?
Weird.
It's weird to see it now in today's standards.
Turns out, guys, this is not a duo commentary team tonight. They're joined by former King of the Ring, Owen Hart. Vince's opening spiel is cut short by Owen. What are you doing just standing around? Which is a good question. Like, sit the fuck down.
Yeah,
like,
sit down. Let's watch some wrestling. Owen stands out the most out of this whole show. Like, for me personally, I know this is Austin 316 time, and I get it, and it's amazing. But Owen, I think this is because I'm not familiar with Owen's work, and I never really watched, like, Owen be a heel that much. I only watched him be a heel in wrestling matches. So him talking throughout this whole event was an absolute treat.
He was so good.
He was so funny, dude.
What are you doing just standing around here? I want to give you my expertise. Come on, let's get on with the show.
I don't know about you guys, but I am immensely annoyed by Vince McMahon's commentary voice. I think it's cute the first, 5 minutes. It fits with the time and all that stuff, whatever you want to call it. But I'm watching this in 2024 as a 26-year-old man, and I'm watching this, and I can't hear 1, 2, and no.
That's what he fucking does.
Like, I can't handle that. And when he says 3, and when it's not 3, it pisses me off. I get it. It's like, oh, so it could be more believable, but he does it every match.
Yeah,
and it's fucking annoying.
His commentary is absurd. Our opening contest is a semi-final match for the King of the Ring tournament. It's Marc Mero versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. When I heard Stone Cold's theme, I was like, who the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
And then I saw him walk out, I'm like, oh shit! It's the Ringmaster music!
It's insane. It's really weird.
So at this time, Stone Cold wasn't just a nickname. That was his whole demeanor.
Stone Cold.
Just a cold, almost emotionless wrestler. All I can say is thank God that didn't stick, because he has too much personality.
He does.
Wild man Marc Mero makes his way to the ring, accompanied by his valet and shoot wife, Sable. I don't think I mentioned this in the Halloween Havoc episode.
They were actually together?
Yeah, no, they're actually married. I don't think I mentioned this in the Halloween Havoc episode we did back in October, but Marc Mero is very underrated.
Yeah, this match showed how underrated he was, and I didn't know wrestlers could have this style in WWF during this era. I just because when I see this era, I just picture the only good wrestlers being HBK and the Harts and British Bulldog. And you know what I mean? And everyone else.
It's weird to see good wrestling.
It's kind of just average power wrestling and all that stuff. So seeing high stakes maneuvers and all that stuff
oh yeah,
during the match. Marc Mero does a tilt-a-whirl, head scissors, and
he was so athletic.
He does tope suicidas and all that. It's amazing.
Having Sable in his corner was both a blessing and a curse. Over here in '96 it was fine, but once Sable started to get over, he was done.
Takes the attention away from the babyface.
And it's too bad. He deserved better, I think.
Oh, definitely. You can just see by his in-ring ability. And it's really sad where that goes. Just gets completely outshined.
But Marc Mero's doing good now. He's a motivational speaker. He's in great shape.
Dude, he is jocked to the brim.
Great shape, and he's a great person. So I will always...
Shout out Marc Mero.
Always put over Marc Mero. This match is very back and forth, very technical. I haven't watched a Stone Cold match pre-neck injury in a long time. He was a completely different wrestler.
Yeah, he moved way faster. It was just very different. He's, granted, always grounded, but I love how treating him like they're Pokemon ground type. Stone Cold's a ground type, definitely.
He's definitely a
ground type striker.
He's like a Machamp here.
Yeah, yeah.
Steve Austin was such a badass, but he was such a chicken shit at the same time. He keeps powdering out of the ring. He tells the ref, time out! He's so fucking good.
Do you remember the part where Owen calls Sable a hoe bag?
What?
You don't see Stone Cold Steve Austin with some hose bag hanging around.
Stop it.
Come on.
Be respectful.
There's a really cool spot where Steve Austin lifts the mat.
Oh, yeah, I was actually gonna...
Okay.
Austin removes the mat on the outside and gorilla presses Johnny B. Bad right on the concrete floor.
You hear that slapping sound on the concrete.
This kid with the mushroom cut goes into business for himself here. Look at this kid. He's like Brock Lesnar guy before Brock Lesnar guy.
He's like the Venom version of Green Shirt guy.
Yeah. He's just fucking hot dogging in the camera.
Yeah.
Austin goes back in the ring to taunt the crowd. And may as well talk about it here. But what do you guys think of the giant crown above the ring? I like it.
For the era, it's cool. These days it would look a little cheesy, but I like it because everything is, WWF was so much brighter and shinier back then with just the absurd colors, so it works.
Now
there.
it would be like a big LED crown.
It would be a CG crown above the ring. It looks a little tacky, but I love it. Fits with the time, and I love the colorful aesthetic of this WWF, where like the mats are bright blue, the ropes are like USA colors, and this whole event is very USA,
very pro-America.
Yeah, as Vince loves to do.
What do you guys think of the sort of the gate with the guards opening up? How do you think of that stage?
I like it.
I love it.
I like it a lot. With like, yeah, just it just ups the
pump,
the tone, the theme of it all. I love it.
It's
and
so cool.
I was looking for Matt and Jeff, but apparently they must be the year before.
That was 95.
Yeah,
because they had to carry Mabel's fat ass down the ring.
Yeah.
Austin is all over Mero, beats him senseless right in front of his wife. Jim Ross does a great job putting Steve over on commentary. He explains that everything Stone Cold does is methodical and deliberate. He truly is Stone Cold.
It's really cool hearing JR putting over a young freshly Stone Cold Steve Austin, and not even yet having that relationship with him.
I know.
And if he only knew the relationship they would build together, and
it's like Commissioner Gordon in year one.
yeah, exactly.
Him and Batman aren't boys yet.
Yeah, they're not boys yet. They don't trust each other yet.
But he'll still put him over a little bit. He's like, all right,
he's still good.
Marc Mero shows some babyface fire, reversing Stone Cold's Boston Crab into a toss and then into a small package. 1, 2, and no.
1, 2, 3. Is it? Yes. No, it's not.
Austin gets back on the attack, doesn't even break a sweat. We get a series of reversals, near falls. Mero locks Austin in a sleeper, and Stone Cold hits the stunner.
What?
It's so weird to see no reaction for the stunner.
No, nothing. These people didn't know yet.
They had no fucking clue. I can't exactly pinpoint where it happened, but Austin's mouth is busted open at this stage in the match.
So he actually went to the hospital, right?
He went to the hospital.
Well, sorry, local medical facility.
You guys know how Hogan hulks up, right? Well, Marc Mero marks out. He starts flying all over the ring.
Yeah, he does like a springboard, back attack.
Diving senton, suicide dive.
It's so dope.
Hurricane Rana. Is Marc Mero going to win this thing?
Man, motherfucker, no.
Austin hits a stun gun and then a second Stone Cold Stunner for the win. 1, 2, 3. Austin is headed to the finals.
Oh, shit. Who is he going to face?
Solid opener here, boys.
Oh, it was a great opening match, and it, set the tone for some good wrestling.
Both men looked great after this match, just not physically. Austin's mouth is fucked.
Austin's mouth is fucked up.
Boys, will this mouth injury affect Stone Cold's chances to win the tournament?
I think so.
We'll find out soon. It doesn't. It doesn't affect his chances. Backstage, we see Michael Hayes interviewing Jake the Snake Roberts ahead of his match with Vader. I refuse to call him Doc Hendricks, by the way.
Why? I was so confused when they were calling him that. I was like, what? That's Freebird.
It's a stupid name. About? It's a stupid name from a stupid creative team led by a stupid man. We can't call him Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes isn't my creation. You're Doc Hendricks.
What is that? Where did you get that from?
I don't fucking know. Vince is stupid. Jake cuts a great promo here.
If I was gonna rob a bank, I wouldn't walk through the front door. I would sneak up from behind.
If I was gonna rob a bank, it would be on payday 2.
And I have 300 hours in payday 2.
I can't fucking get enough of it.
Jake became a born-again Christian, so he was incorporating faith into a lot of his interviews.
Okay, that's why.
So I thought about this. This is inadvertently the most important backstage promo of all time.
Yeah.
This is the very backstage promo that gave Austin the ammunition for Austin 316. More on that a little later. It's time! It's Vader time! Time!
With Jim Cornette.
Always love seeing Vader, one of the most imposing and intense performers of all time. WWE would do him dirty later on, but at this time, he was a goddamn wrecking ball.
How did they do him dirty?
Oh my god. So 97 was not a good year for Vader. They just kept jobbing him out, and then he had a promo after a match where Michael Cole went to go interview Vader. He's like, oh, tough loss today. I think he lost to Kane or something. It was like a mask versus mask match. And obviously Vader lost. He had his mask off. Michael Cole's like, oh, tough loss, Vader. And Vader's just like, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a big fat piece of shit. I'm like, clearly they wanted him to lose weight. But like, that's what made him special. Like, he looks like he can fucking kill you.
Well, yeah, he's the muscle. Wasn't he fucking going crazy in Japan? He was,
yeah. In all Japan, and even WCW.
And
he was
Vince
big Van Vader.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, Vince is fucking... Oh, my God. He does all his best imports dirty. Jim Cornette makes his first fucking appearance on Wrestling's Real.
Fuck you.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
He must have hated Marc Mero doing all those high spots.
I know, right? Flopping like a fish out there. Jim Cornette and Mario are the two people who want AEW to fucking fail the most, I think. Oh, I can't think of two other people.
Jim Cornette should get Mario as a client next time.
Yeah, Mario. I want Mario and Jim Cornette to have a podcast, and they could just bury AEW.
Well, I'll do it.
Here comes fucking Okody here. He calls Okada Okody because he thinks Okada's a ripoff of Cody Rhodes.
What?
How?
I don't know.
Mario's just like, bet. Jake makes his way to the ring to one of the most kick-ass themes in wrestling history.
I'm surprised they, on commentary, they're like mentioning all his, like, downfalls and his...
Yeah, his demons.
His abuse of, like, alcohol and yada, 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 or whatever.
Crack cocaine.
I think that's kind of...
Yeah.
Kind of fucked up, but whatever. It's all good.
It's supposed to be inspirational, I guess, because he, you know...
Okay.
It wouldn't be for long, but he would kick his demons and become a born-again Christian. And apparently that's what, you know, sparked his comeback story. It's like a Cinderella story they were billing it as.
Oh, yeah, that's good. I'm happy for Jake, and, you know, DDT is one of the greatest finishers ever, so...
For sure.
You want to dive into this match?
Unfortunately, unfortunately, the entrances were better than the match itself.
I think it was longer.
Right? This was very uneventful compared to the opener. Very paint by numbers. It sucks because I love both of these performers. I love Jake Roberts and I love Vader. It was just very dull. It was a very dull, especially for a tournament match.
It's just this. I think it's the story building into the finals. It's just Vader beating the absolute shit of Jake out of Jake to basically handicap Jake in the finals.
Vader's all over Jake here.
Oh, he beats the fuck out of him, and that's it.
Jake attempts a babyface comeback, but Vader cuts him off. It was just like rinse and repeat. Jake hits the DDT on Vader, however, Vader pulls Mike Chioda down with him.
And it's a DQ for some reason.
Vader's disqualified.
And that's it?
Yeah, very questionable finish. After the match, Vader jumps Jake with his back turned.
I do love how animated Jim Cornette is. Keeping the ref back in the corner with his big ass.
Cornette holds the official back as Vader continues to wallop Jake. Like, it looks like he was trying to give Chioda a stink face.
Like a stink cock.
Like, look. Like, look at Jim Cornette. Vader hits the Vader bomb on Jake the Snake. Officials flood the ring. Even in defeat, Vader looks like a killer.
Oh, yeah.
Whether Vader likes it or not, Jake the Snake Roberts advances to the King of the Ring finals with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And Vader does not give a fuck about advancing. He just wants to kill Jake.
Fuck yeah, brother. Our next contest is for the WWF World Tag Team titles. It's the Godwinns versus the Smoking Guns.
What do you want me to say about this one, Andrew?
I don't know. The Godwinns and Hillbilly Jim make their entrance to one of the worst pieces of music I've ever heard in my life.
Is that Midian?
That is Midian right there.
Holding one of the leftover goats from the Slammies.
I was getting ready to shit on the Godwinns, but I'll give them a pass because the baby goats. Baby goats are so cute.
They are cute. They are very adorable. Cheap pop, if you ask me.
For some reason, WWF can't use Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy, so we have to settle for this royalty-free fucking garage band loop.
It's pretty horrible. And not only it's bad, it's louder than everything else, so you can barely hear the commentary, you can barely hear the backstage promos. It is god-awful.
Backstage, Michael Hayes tries to get a word in with the Smoking Guns and their manager, Sonny.
Andrew loves Sonny.
So in 2024, this woman is a wreck. She's a remorseless criminal and a pathological liar. However, in 96, she was bad.
Good Lord.
She's currently serving 17 years in prison for a DUI and manslaughter.
And farting on a dude's penis.
That allegedly. So prior to managing the Smoking Guns, Sonny was the manager for the Body Donnas, Chris Candido and Tom Pritchard. Sonny turned on the Body Donnas to align with the Godwinns, and then turned on the Godwinns to align with the Smoking Guns. That's why we're here. It's complicated.
Good Lord.
Michael Hayes asks Sonny her thoughts on her Body Donna's replacement, Cloudy. Cloudy is independent wrestler Jimmy Shoulders in drag. Hardy har har. Thank God this era of gay trans panic is behind us. Not only was this unnecessary, but it's just not funny.
And
especially in '96.
It's so like, it's such like a cheap way to get heat. And like, again, looking back on it, is so...
It's gross.
Incredibly outdated. Incredibly outdated.
It's hard to watch.
All right, Vince, back to you. A perplexed Sonny and the Guns on the way to defend the titles. Yeah.
The Guns make their way to the ring looking like great value blackjacks. Before the contest, Billy Gunn takes to the mic to inform Phineas that he made Sonny feel like he would never make her feel. Lovely.
Ooh.
Get it? Because she's a hoe.
Oh. Yeah, sorry, Vince. I'm not buying in on this shit.
Boys, this was a nothing match.
Yeah, again,
it did nothing for me.
The pay-per-view is called King of the Ring. This has nothing to do with it, and it clearly this didn't go anywhere. So
one note I had for this match was right there at the beginning. The titles. It's great to see we have those titles again today. Kind of similar in shape. Not the
SmackDown ones.
The SmackDown ones. That Austin Theory and what's his name are holding right now.
Grayson Waller.
So I'm glad to see like a lot of the old school designs are coming back, and it's cool to see the originals again. And
those original tag belts are too beautiful for these Smoking Guns. I'm just saying.
I love the prestigious look to them.
Fuck yeah.
Less of a branding tool, more just like it's a fucking title.
Beautiful. The tag division at this time was so boring.
Looks like it.
And it really lacked star power. Even Vince didn't care. Like, it's a championship match on pay-per-view, and he thought this was a good time to interview Cloudy during the match.
Yeah, completely taking, like, everything away, the attention away from the match.
Yeah, so Hardy Har Har, it's a man in drag. Jimmy Shoulders is wearing Sonny's outfit, and, like, I guess it's supposed to be funny. I don't fucking get it.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Cloudy blows a kiss to Jim Ross, and JR has none of it. He's probably thinking, WCW sounds really good right now. Guys, it's 10 whole minutes of punches and kicks.
Yeah, Andrew, I don't know what to tell you on this one, bro.
Mario, do you have any...
I respect the craft of this podcast and what the beats we have to go through, but I got nothing for this match.
Mario, do you have anything for this match?
No, it does nothing for me, especially with the last tag thing we covered in the show was fucking TLC 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So how far have we come here?
Our expectations are too high.
Yeah.
Too high.
I will say one thing. There is a spot I enjoyed. It's when the Godwinns Irish whip the Guns, and then the Guns reverse, and then the Godwinns do-si-do into dual lariats. I thought that was fabulous.
That's cool.
I thought that was great. It didn't redeem this shit match, but it was something.
Yeah, and it's cool to see a young Billy Gunn looking just like his son Colton.
Young Colton Gunn in the ring against the Godwinns.
Yeah.
The match mercifully ends when Bart Gunn hits Phineas with his boot behind the ref's back. 1, 2, 3, Guns retain. Again, guys, I got nothing. After the pinfall, the Godwinns jump the Guns. Owen's amazing on commentary because he says, "Oh, they're a bunch of sore losers," and he's 100% right.
He is.
They lost.
It's funny hearing back on Owen being a heel, but in a lot of scenarios, you agree with the shit he says.
Exactly. Yeah, fuck this match and fuck Tammy Sitch. It's time for Jerry the King Lawler versus the Ultimate Warrior.
Now this is when the shows start to pick up a little bit. Now the match isn't great, but the King is funny as hell.
It gets exciting. It gets really exciting. Jerry Lawler makes his way out to the ring and starts making his way to the King of the Ring area. He reminds me of Rick James in Eddie Murphy's apartment.
Player hater.
Nice place. He then starts insulting the crowd. These cheesy-ass one-liners. He calls kids ugly. He accuses some woman of being a prostitute. He even fat-shames this poor girl, saying that she had too many trips to Burger King.
Gotta love heel characters during this time. They were completely, they did not give a fuck over here. They will shit on anybody. And the crowd was getting real hot, too.
I know.
Some guys trying to, like, smack his, like, cane, and there's kids trying to fucking hit him. As much as I make fun of the King's commentary and his awful Ed Hardy shirts, this King is amazing. I love how much of a dick he is.
He goes to these young girls over here, and he says, "Ha, little too old for me."
Oh, boy.
Jerry Lawler talks shit in the ring. Ultimate Warrior's music hits, and King looks shocked. Like, dude, you knew you were going to have a match with him.
The King, well, I know he looks shocked, but this is like a scenario where I really like, where King is really selling everything.
So this was Warrior's last run with the company. WWE and Warrior have a complicated history.
Good.
Today, he's revered by the company. He had his own award in the Hall of Fame. But if you take off the rose-tinted glasses, he was a pain in the ass. He was unprofessional. He held up Vince for $100,000 at SummerSlam 91. He famously no-showed events, which is what ended his run here. He was just a pain.
Wow, just no-showing events?
Yeah.
That's not how you do it, dude.
The only reason he came back in 96 was for a shitload of money and to promote his comic book. If you guys want to know more about his comic, OSW did an amazing episode about it. It's fantastic.
They just make fun of it? I would hope so.
They go through every comic book in his series. It's amazing. Everything they do is fucking amazing. So I have my reservations with Ultimate Warrior, but even the most cynical wrestling fan will admit that this entrance is fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, it's hype, it's energetic, everyone gets fired up. But I'm just saying, man, under the paint and the tassels and the fun colors, it's just not... you're not there, homie.
Doesn't do anything for you.
Doesn't do anything for me.
Do you like the Ultimate Warrior, Mario?
I like the idea of him. Like, you know, like his look is great. He is the ultimate action figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
I have friends that are like, you know, because that's the thing. I talked to a lot of like wrestling heads, and like if we talk about Ultimate Warrior, they didn't really talk about like his in-ring chemistry. It just like he looks cool.
Yeah,
and he probably could fucking choke you out. But like, you know, other than that, there was nothing too special.
And sometimes in-ring stuff doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
it's your promo ability and your connection to the crowd, which I guess Warrior has that. I don't know about promo ability. I mean, promo ability. You
never knew what the fuck he was saying.
I respect what he's trying to say, like he's going really overboard on things, but does nothing for me.
While Warrior hot dogs, Jerry Lawler attacks him from behind with the scepter.
Get him, Jerry.
What a heel. Lawler chokes Warrior with the scepter, and then he chokes Warrior with his jacket, and then he chokes Warrior with the tape, and then he chokes him again with the tape.
Keeps choking him.
It's like, holy fucking house show match, Batman.
But I will say, putting Lawler over again, he is such a great heel. He is reacting to everything. He's looking at the crowd after every move and every just spot, I guess.
He knew his role.
And he knew his role, and he shut his mouth.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He never shut his mouth.
But he knew his role.
Lawler hits his patented pile driver, and Warrior...
so good.
Warrior no-sells it completely.
And there it goes.
Gets up immediately. He starts hulking up, continues to no-sell.
Running around like a fifth grader. Not even a fifth grader. A preschooler. Run around like having like an energetic fit. I can't describe this comeback.
These 1980s theatrics feel so out of place in 96.
Especially, yeah, I was just gonna say, especially when you have the birth of Austin 316 on this same exact pay-per-view. It's so out of place, and like, I'm surprised all these people are still buying in on that.
Like, through the eyes of a kid, it's superhuman and it's exciting. But as a 30-year-old, like, this is so fucking corny. Am I being a Mark, or a Smark, rather?
I think we are being Smarks, but it's also, this is why people tuned into WCW during this time.
True.
So it's not completely negative. It's just, I just want to see good stuff.
No, I'm with you.
I'm sorry.
I'm with you. Warrior hits a clothesline, a second clothesline, a third clothesline, and a shoulder tackle. That's unexpected. 1, 2, 3. Warrior beats Jerry the King Lawler. This was just fine. This is basically a squash match.
Yeah, go Warrior! Yeah!
Like Mario said, I appreciate the action figure aesthetic, but...
For the 80s?
Yeah.
I think it fits way better.
But mid-90s, man, like, it was all about counterculture, and, like... If you looked at the company 2 years later, like, you can tell this was out of place.
Yeah.
After this match, Warrior would remain dominant in WWF for about 2 weeks. Warrior no-showed a bunch of events and would get terminated a few weeks after this show. He was on bad terms with the company for years until he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2014. He had his last promo on Raw.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
The next day, the motherfucker was dead.
Backstage, Michael Hayes interviews Gorilla Monsoon while Jake Roberts gets treated in the background.
My fucking tummy hurts so fucking much.
It's not looking good for Jake, boys.
No, it's not looking good. And here's I don't know if you see it, but right as soon as the segment starts, Gorilla gives the guy the signal to start taping him up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look.
The point they were trying to make, that they're hammering home that Jake is 41 years old. By 2024 standards, that's his prime. Like look at AJ Styles, look at Randy Orton, look at Samoa Joe.
Yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, that's not old at all.
But at this time, like 41, you're basically elderly in the wrestling world. Gorilla says if he has to stop the match, he will.
How about Owen?
Oh my God. After the backstage segment, we cut to commentary, and Owen Hart has one of the funniest moments I've ever seen. Vince McMahon is so somber, and he asks Owen how he would deal with this situation. And Owen is deadpan as shit, and he says, I take my hat off to Jake Roberts, but at 88 years old, he's in no
80
condition.
or 90s are old, or 90 years old.
He's in no condition to perform. It's just his delivery.
It's so serious.
It's a courageous decision on the part of Jake the Snake.
Well, I do take my hat off to Jake the Snake Roberts, but almost at 80 years old or 90 years old or whatever he is, he's not in any condition to go back in the ring.
And this is one of the many reasons of why Owen is one of the best. And again, I wish I realized that sooner, but I'm glad I've watched this show to truly experience how funny he is.
So fucking funny. Because it's like they have their sad voices. Like
yeah,
oh man,
yeah,
so serious. Oh, it's just like, yeah, he's like 90, dude. Such an asshole.
He's 80 or 90 years old.
Such a piece of shit. Our next contest is Mankind versus The Undertaker. Mankind, man.
Nobody knew except JR that this man was going to be a huge asset to the WWF.
Oh, God, yeah. He came at the perfect time. The dynamic between Undertaker and Mankind is so cool. You have this undead zombie versus this remorseless psychopath. It's like Mortal Kombat come to life.
It is. It is like MK. These like larger-than-life, very over-exaggerated, but you buy in.
For sure.
You fucking buy in on how crazy Mankind is and how scary The Undertaker is and how seriously they take the characters.
Mankind makes his entrance to his amazing theme. It's sad, it's scary, it's the perfect theme for this character. And
the psychopath.
Nobody could make Mankind work other than Mick Foley, and nobody could make The Undertaker work other than Mark Calloway.
Exactly. And then on paper, you're given this very over-the-top and could be disastrous gimmick.
But it works.
But all it matters is the human who is portraying the character is to make it work.
And they're all in.
Mick Foley and Undertaker have done that tremendously.
Undertaker makes his way to the ring, or does he? Undertaker sneak attacks Mankind, and away they go.
Was not expecting that. I was expecting your general Undertaker entrance, but
it's like fucking Batman. Like he just fucking comes out of fucking nowhere.
Does a glide kick?
Fucking
Boys, this was a fantastic brawl from start to finish. I was 5 years old again watching this match. I was transported back to 96, and I was just in awe of not only the character work, but how in it they are. They beat the shit out of each other here.
This is a great, of course, nothing compares to their Hell in a Cell match, but this is just really still engaging and some real cool just spots throughout the match that make you really just like wince at times.
Yeah.
And they're just going at it, man. And can I just say,
how old are these guys at this point?
So
they're young.
They're like probably 30, 31.
Crazy.
Early 30s.
Early 30s.
So not even yet in their prime, obviously.
Yeah. Taker usually wrestled slow and methodical, but over here he's wailing on Mick Foley. He's like a completely different wrestler.
Another thing, Taker isn't working against fucking Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. This is his first great feud.
Taker has somebody that complements his style as well. And not to say, like, yeah, of course you have Shawn Michaels and other wrestlers. I'm sure they had banger matches too. But still, you have another threatening figure that can go against Taker, and it'll make sense.
The one thing that really freaked me out as a kid was when Mankind, he did that shriek. They go, wee, wee.
Go ahead. Take them bridges off. Go ahead, squeal.
There are so many great moments throughout this match. It's not all punches and kicks. There are some great high spots. Mick Foley does his patented elbow off the apron to the floor.
He does it a couple times, and he stresses his body out with that move.
Yeah, like watching
as
that
he
move
said many times.
It always looks painful, but it always looks good.
You're jumping and you're landing on your fucking cheeks, bro.
One of my favorite parts of the match is that Mankind gets Taker in the corner. I jumped when that happened. Like I said, the chemistry between the two, it's so good, and they complement each other so well. Mario, did you have fun watching this match as much as I did?
Yeah, I mean, seeing these two is always going to be a good match, but again, it's just always great to see them. I mean, everyone thinks of the cage match, but just having a good old brawl is always great to see them. And again, like, you know, in their early 30s, it's just so crazy to see, because in my eyes, they're like, you know, they don't age. They're just like the same age forever. They're like they are mythical creatures.
Yeah.
But seeing them fight is awesome, and you forget like how long Mankind's been doing it. You know what I mean? Like I always think that like he's so fresh in the Attitude Era.
Mankind hits the pile driver. 1, 2, and Undertaker.
No, 3. I swear to God, that was 3. Oh my God.
Dude, Mankind is incensed. He starts throwing a Shoto tantrum and then proceeds to yank a bunch of hair out of his head. It's so disturbing. That's what the keyboard looks like after I'm working on Wrestling's Real episode. Mankind takes the urn from Paul Bearer, and he's about to crack it over Taker's head. Paul Bearer nabs it just in the nick of time. You don't tug on Superman's cape, and you don't fuck with Taker's urn.
Fucking right. That's where all the power comes from, god damn it.
Finish of the match. Paul Bearer attempts to hit Mankind with the urn, but hits Taker instead. This opens Taker up for the mandible claw and for the submission victory.
Fuck.
What a match, boys.
I was not expecting that.
What a goddamn match. Chapter 1 in the book of Foley and Undertaker.
So does this eventually leads up to Bearer turning on Taker?
Yeah, that would be later in the year. That'd be SummerSlam 96. I think it was a Boiler Room match, and they would make their way to the front, and whoever got to the urn wins. Taker goes to get the urn, and Paul cracks him on the head, ruining a 6-year relationship. But then Undertaker would come back at Survivor Series 96 with his fucking leathery bat entrance.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, I fucking love these two, and I loved this match, man. This feud would obviously build, and they would steal the show many, many more times in the future. Backstage, Michael Hayes interviews the referee for the main event, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Kurt is basically...
nothing short of perfect.
He's nothing short of perfect, but he's accused of collusion.
You can't even spell collusion.
Perfect. Mr. Perfect.
Get your hands off of me, first of all.
Perfect referee.
Shawn gets in his face, tells him, dude, you better call this match down the middle.
Yeah, there's gonna be some fuckery happening. It looks like they're building up some absolute fuckery.
Some good old-fashioned fuckery in the end. And Vince knows a thing about fuckery, right?
Doesn't he?
I'm the perfect referee. I'm doing the perfect job. What else do you want me to tell you?
All right, Vinny and JR, back to you.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
I like how Doc Hendrick says, all right, Vinny and JR, what about me?
It is time for Goldust versus Ahmed Johnson for the Intercontinental Championship. We throw to a recap from Raw the previous month. Johnson was getting stretchered out of the arena, and Goldust took it upon himself to perform CPR.
That's all he was doing.
A pretty common medical practice. I don't know why Ahmed's all fucking butthurt.
Yeah, if anything, Ahmed's the heel for being a child. For a man just trying to put some fresh breath in him, as Owen says.
I mean, probably because it was 1996. Men don't kiss other men. Ugh.
Oh, that'll get a lot of heat, Dustin.
Oh my God. Goldust makes his entrance, and again, I'm transported back to my youth. It's one of my favorite entrances in wrestling history.
Andrew, I just gotta say, you were way ahead of your time for loving Goldust as a kid.
So not only did I unironically love Goldust, he freaked me out as well.
What are you trying to say? I'm just kidding.
No. Happy Pride. His flamboyance didn't freak me out. It was backstage promos where he would be really close to the camera with that makeup, and he would just like speak to me directly through the TV.
Yeah.
He'd breathe in, and he'd just... It was a sight to behold, man. And I've always had an affinity for Goldust.
At this time, no fucking wrestler had the aura that Goldust had, where it's like, dude, this guy is fucking weird, and we never seen anything like that.
So ahead of his time.
Yeah.
So ahead of his time. And like Mick Foley and Mark Calloway, nobody can pull off Goldust other than Dustin.
Oh, absolutely not.
But everything about this entrance is amazing. You got the cinema frame rate, the gold hue, the confetti.
Amazing.
Marlena smoking a stogie.
She's a Bond stogie. She's has that octopussy stogie. Just the whole entrance is
magnificent.
Tremendous.
As they say.
Ahmed Johnson's music hits and he yeets those poor indie guys.
I love it.
Ahmed bull rushes Goldust and beats the shit out of him.
Ahmed reacts like a 3-year-old being called gay.
Yeah. It's like he was trying to give him mouth to mouth and he's just wailing on him. He's
like Ahmed is doing everything in his power to prove that he is not homosexual.
That's what this match is about.
And that's a babyface? Question mark?
Ahmed has great intensity, but it takes...
Ahmed is explosive. Wasn't he a football player?
I think so.
There are some fucking stiff spots, man.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
I loved Ahmed Johnson as a kid. Because not only is he like this big burly dude, but like he wrestled like he had a death wish. And it was later proven that he was very unsafe.
Oh, yeah. I can tell.
Speaking of unsafe, Ahmed goes for a plancha to the outside and nearly kills himself.
Dude, my jaw dropped seeing this. I was not expecting that. And he lands, like...
right on his head.
Head first. I would never have thought I would see that.
He's like a big black Kenny Omega. Fuck, like, look at him. Ahmed stays on the attack for a bit, but then the match slows down to a crawl. His special ran out. Ahmed clearly blew his load in the first minute because he's obviously blown up.
Yeah.
He's looking like Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania 11.
And, oh, damn.
My dude's gasping for air.
You can clearly, I'm not trying to shit on Ahmed, but you can clearly see that Ahmed is still new.
Yeah, he's still green.
He's sometimes not selling some moves, and Dustin is like, keeps on punching him.
Dustin, he knows the assignment.
Dustin's the hard carry.
Yeah, Dustin is bumping all around the ring, and he is making this guy look like $1 million.
Goldust was always treated as like the annoyance, or like,
the comedy guy.
Yeah, like I think we talked about it before. Like I used to love him and Booker T stuff.
Yeah,
of him fucking with Booker T and all that. So that's always been like the gimmick for him, unfortunately, but I fucking love him as a performer.
Me too. And it shows in this match. Like, Goldust is the perfect opponent for Ahmed because during those well-needed rest holds, like, Goldust would take it upon himself to rub on and fondle you. Like, he would get himself over while, you know, letting Ahmed kind of recuperate. It was really smart.
Like rubbing his like thighs.
Oh my god! And like he smacks him on the ass. He kisses his arm while he's in a submission. Like it's so creepy.
Was Ahmed really pissed?
No, I think Ahmed was cool with it. Who actually was pissed was Scott Hall. Scott Hall did not want to work.
Scott Hall, okay.
He did not want to be the recipient of any of those rub-downs.
Come on, man.
Speaking of Ahmed Johnson being green as goose shit, the ref goes to lift his arm, and he drops on all of them.
Ahmed, that was it. Did his hand hit the canvas? That was it. No.
I think it was it.
It hit the mat.
Oh, yeah, even Vince says that was it.
Goldust does a sexy pin and gets so much heat. Throughout the years, we've seen some eccentric-ass characters in wrestling, but at the time, this was never seen before.
Yeah, and I'm sure it pissed a lot of people off, got under people's skin, which makes it even funnier.
Dustin was amazing. He still is. Finish of the match, Goldust attempts to perform CPR again on Ahmed Johnson.
Just giving him fresh air, that's all.
Ahmed has none of it. He explodes, wailing on Goldust. He hits a beautiful spine buster.
Good spine buster.
Ahmed then calls for the Pearl River Plunge. I love this move. 1, 2, 3, your new
pop.
Intercontinental Champion. Big win for Ahmed Johnson, especially this early in his career. And great showing by Goldust.
Him having a IC win, that's huge.
Oh,
that is huge.
Definitely.
So good on Ahmed. But I think the overall story is pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Yeah, it's
but I will
out
say,
of pocket.
Again, Owen with a great quote when Ahmed wins. Owen's like, "Oh, he's not getting a standing ovation from me. The only reason he's out here is because Goldust breathed fresh air in his mouth, gave him CPR, and revived him. That's why he's up on his feet."
It's true. This match wasn't anything special, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't entertained. Backstage, the babyfaces shower Ahmed in champagne, and Shawn Michaels comes in for the endorsement. Good stuff here.
Why is Bushwhacker Luke?
Let's go.
I was gonna ask that.
Mario's hype.
Oh,
that was Mario's highlight of the whole show.
I thought Mario's highlight was gonna be Aldo Montoya, the Portuguese man of war over there.
Oh, no way.
Really? It's just incredible.
Just Incredible's Portuguese?
Yeah. That's his gimmick, the Portuguese man of war.
But for real, is Just Incredible a Portuguese?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, he's a greenhorn.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Damn, let's go.
Let's go.
Viva Just Incredible. We immediately cut to Brian Pillman making his way to the ring on crutches. Brian was in a near-fatal Humvee accident a couple months before this.
For real?
Yeah, he crashed his Humvee, broke a bunch of bones. He was in bad shape. The fact that he's standing is a miracle. Pillman cuts a classic loose cannon promo.
Loose cannon is right.
He shits on Wisconsin and says, "I can see why Jeffrey Dahmer tried to consume this state from head to toe."
What a line. That's a banger Kendrick line.
The Dahmer stuff was still fresh, so that line was amazing. Yeah. Thankfully, his mouth works because while he's recovering, he can bless us with these great, explosive interviews. He was so good, so ahead of his time.
I don't know anything about Brian Pillman. I'm only familiar with the Stone Cold storyline with a gun and all that stuff. That's all I'm really familiar with. But watching this, I am completely sold on Brian Pillman, and I didn't know how fucking great he was on the mic and how scary and serious he looks.
So he basically reinvented himself as the loose cannon. So he was in WCW. He somehow convinced Eric Bischoff, "Oh, you know what, you'd be crazy? You should actually fire me, right? Actually fire me so like I can go on the indies and like, you know, like put a bunch of interest in the company and then I can come back." So he convinced Eric Bischoff to fire him, and he actually left the company and signed with WWF.
Wow.
He went to ECW and he cut all these crazy promos with these F-bombs.
You know what Eric Bischoff is? Eric Bischoff is each and every one of these motherfucking smart marks rolled up into one giant piece of shit.
One of the greatest talkers of all time. It's a shame. He would pass away a year later.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in October of 97.
What happened?
He was supposed to have a match with Goldust at Bad Blood 97. The same night Taker and Shawn had their Hell in a Cell match. And he was found dead that morning.
Ooh.
So it was terrible.
Scary.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Brian Pillman, may you rest in peace.
I hope he knows that just this one promo can really
sell you on him.
Sell you. Yeah.
So fucking
He
good.
is so believable.
I'm the brightest star that's ever stepped foot on the face of God's great earth.
Right as Brian wraps up, Stone Cold's music hits. as it's now time for the King of the Ring finals. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Jake the Snake Roberts. As Austin makes his way to the ring, him and Pillman have a brief stare down. They don't acknowledge their history on commentary, but for the people who know, this was fantastic.
That's cool.
Jake makes his way to the ring, clutching his ribs and limping. The poor 88-year-old man.
Oh, fuck. My fucking tummy.
He's not even carrying the snake over his back. He's dragging the snake out to the ring.
He can't even
lift his arm. This was essentially a squash match, boys.
Oh, yeah. The whole story was just Stone Cold beating the fuck out of his gut.
Yeah. Stone Cold is wailing on Jake the Snake, and it's like so poetic because you have the new and you have the old, and the new is kicking the shit out of the old. It's sad to watch, but goddamn, man, you have a star in the making with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
A star was born this night.
Jake shows signs of resilience, but he is no match for Stone Cold. Succumbs to the Stone Cold Stunner, and that's all she wrote, boys.
That's
1, 2, 3. Stone Cold Steve Austin is your new King of the Ring. This was a star-making night, a star-making performance, and in a matter of moments, we have a star-making promo. Steve Austin makes his way to the coronation area. Michael Hayes, our fourth prestigious King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin, an incredible victory. Austin opens his mouth and spits the greatest gospel wrestling has ever seen. I'm just going to play the promo.
The first thing I want to be done is to get that piece of crap out of my ring.
Come on.
Don't just get him out of the ring, get him out of the WWF. Because I've proved, son, without a shadow of a doubt, you ain't got what it takes anymore. You sit there and you thump your Bible and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
He is Stone Cold. Come on, that's not necessary.
All he's got to do is go buy him a cheap bottle of Thunderbird.
All right, stop
and
it.
try to dig back some of that courage he had in his prime. As the King of the Ring, I'm serving notice to every one of the WWF superstars. I don't give a damn what they are. They're all on the list, and that's Stone Cold's list, and I'm fixing to start running through all of them.
All right, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And his remarks? 1996 WWF
As far
King
as this
of the Ring.
championship match is considered, son, I don't give a damn if it's Davey Boy Smith or Shawn Michaels. Steve Austin's time has come. And when I get the shot, you're looking at the next WWF champion. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
You know what's fucked up? This would have been Triple H's moment if he didn't go into business for himself and hug his homies at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that's right.
Triple H was supposed to be...
Everything is a chain reaction.
Triple H was supposed to be King of the Ring here in 1996, but he had the curtain call, which, you know, him, Razor Ramon, Diesel, Shawn Michaels, they all broke character in the Garden and hugged each other to say goodbye to the outsiders. That would bite him in the ass. But that's one of the big what-ifs in wrestling. What if Triple H won this King of the Ring? I'm sure Austin would still be a star, but... Not at the level.
I don't think Austin 3:16 would exist.
Well, funny enough, is it the year after Triple H wins in Providence King of the Ring?
Yeah,
right?
97. Triple H would end up winning the year after. But by that time, Austin was a fucking rocket ship. Austin 3:16 is still the top-selling T-shirt of all time.
Because of this.
This one promo.
What this started. But I just want to say, like... Compared to the other talent, nobody sounded or talked like him.
Nobody.
And that's why... Nobody. That's why Stone Cold, everyone resonated with him. Because he was just a fucking Texan dude, just would beat the living fuck out of you. And people thought that was fucking awesome.
He was a regular Joe that just like, you know... I mean,
no gimmicks. Just black tights.
Yeah, and like I love because I watched this. My wife was watching with me, and I was like, "You want to see something cool? This is how 3:16 was born." And she made a comment. It's like he's not going to put on the crown or the cape or anything, and grab his head. Like, no,
it doesn't need it.
He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I came in, I proved myself. I can whip anyone's ass, and this fucking walks off, and that's the last we see him the rest of the show.
Because King of the Ring's not a gimmick to him.
Gotta love his moxie. You gotta love Stone Cold's fucking moxie.
Like I said, bro, a star was born here.
As the Sega Saturn blimp floats.
That's what people...
That's great foreshadowing.
It is time for your main event, boys and girls. Shawn Michaels versus the British Bulldog for the WWF Championship. Owen, before the match, says he's not going to interfere. He's going to stay right there in the chair. He has no reason to. He has no sort of partisan. It was just clearly bullshit, but fuck, I love Owen. Mr. Perfect makes his way out to the ring looking like a Foot Locker employee.
Chew some gum.
Opens up a fresh extra. And he's making his way out to the ring. I thought he was going to go full heel here, but turns out he is actually impartial.
Yeah, no, he's, people don't believe him.
British Bulldog makes his way to the ring with his wife, Diana, and of
My
course...
sister!
Owen's sister, Diana, and of course, Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette, man, he needs his flowers as a manager.
He's a fun manager. He's really funny.
I forgot how active he was at this time. I love how Owen claims to not have a dog in the fight, and he's going to stay at the commentary desk. When British Bulldog makes his way to the ring, Owen is standing on the desk, cheering for him.
He's lifting his slammy as well.
He's hot dogging with his slammy.
He's still in it for himself.
I love Owen in this show. I'm so happy we can go back and find a newfound appreciation for Owen Hart.
Oh, absolutely. Going back on all these pay-per-views,
you find newfound appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely. There's MVPs in each pay-per-view.
And Owen's got to be the MVP. Other than Austin, it would have to be Owen.
Yeah, and Michaels.
Yeah, and Shawn too. Speaking of sexy boy hits, Shawn Michaels makes his way out to the ring accompanied...
The roof fucking explodes.
What a fucking entrance.
He's accompanied to the ring by Jose Lothario, his trainer. He looks like... He looks like Vavuzze.
He does.
He looks like our grandpa.
And his name is Jose.
Is that? Yeah. Shawn Michaels gets a huge pop. Now, this time is looked on not as fondly because business was down, but that's not Shawn's fault. Shawn is a perfect babyface, perfect flag bearer for the company.
Shawn was trying his best to carry.
Yeah.
If anything.
He was the
his
head.
in-ring ability, his moxie, his charisma, his Riz.
Dude, he's got Riz out the ass.
Oh my god, everyone in that crowd is all about him.
And I'm all about him. Shawn is my favorite of all time.
Look at that pyro, the middle pyro. This is my favorite Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Even though he's an asshole backstage, but this man, those tights, that gear, the fucking moxie, him stripping like that, he is a goat. He really is.
My favorite Shawn would come the year after Prime Prick DX Shawn.
Oh shit.
Yeah. That was my favorite Shawn.
Okay. Yeah.
Greatest of all time.
This is a big fight feel, boys. British Bulldog, one of the hottest heels. Shawn Michaels, one of the hottest baby faces.
A lot of people in the ring yelling at each other. Monsoon comes out and everyone's like, "Wait, what's going on? What's going on?" And they announce that you know, Mr. Perfect has to be the outside official, and Earl Hebner is inside official.
That's right.
So the crowd's going absolute banana.
The heels are going bananas. They do not want Mr. Hennig on the outside. Owen says something pretty problematic, but I'll give him a pass.
What about that dirty old Mexican Jose Estrada
stop it now.
his nose?
He calls him a dirty Mexican.
Yeah, that's fucked up, but hey.
I had so much fun watching this match.
This is my first time watching it.
Shawn is clearly the most athletic of the two, but Bulldog's no slouch. He was a powerhouse.
JR said it best, it's power versus wrestling.
Bulldog was athletic in his own right.
Not to say that British Bulldog couldn't wrestle. He does some great technical stuff.
Especially at the beginning. Great chain wrestling at the start here. The crowd is so behind Shawn, and it's so nice to see the crowd behind the babyface. I mean, we get that now with Cody.
Well, well, we do get it with Cody, but for so long, and it starts with the Attitude Era, everyone's cheering for the heels, and rightfully so. I do the fucking same. But it's because usually the babyface character is a little bit too clean and too corny for people's liking. But this is the perfect time where Shawn isn't corny at all.
No.
Shawn is just a playboy.
Yeah, he posed for Playgirl.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, like he's a heartthrob, but he's also
He's Austin Powers. Men want to be him. Women want to be with him.
There you go. Yeah.
Shawn goes for a skin the cat, but instead of going back in the ring, he flips Bulldog to the outside. I love this spot.
Transition to like the head scissors, not the head scissors, just a hurricanrana, I guess.
Hurricanrana.
Into like punches, and then he spanks Cornette with
Classic
the racket.
Shawn. He smacks Cornette in the ass. Ouch, motherfucker! Goddamn!
The crowd's going crazy, and what a first, like, what a great first, like, segment of the match.
It's so good. The men take it back to the ring. Lightning quick offense from Shawn. Even partisan Owen Hart puts Shawn over on commentary.
Owen says something funny about, like, just him being, like, way more handsomer than, like, his brothers and sisters and stuff.
Oh, yeah, because Jim Ross asks Owen, are you adopted?
Are you implying I'm much smarter and better looking than everyone else? That's what he says. I love it.
While trading some offense, Bulldog lifts Shawn for a gorilla press and dumps him to the outside.
And Owen's like, oh, he slipped.
Vince is heated. He's like, oh, he did that on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. But why would you disqualify him for that?
You just threw him out of the ring.
What's wrong with that? Don't wrestlers do that all the fucking time?
I guess at this time it was
too much.
Probably. I know that Jose Lothario on the outside is giving Kurt Hennig some shit.
I gotta say, Jose's vest is a fucking banger.
Oh yeah, it's a great vest. Bulldog at this point is all over Shawn. Shawn is bumping around the ring like a madman.
There's a reason why Shawn's like, if not the greatest of all time.
He's definitely up there.
I mean, he's still doing it. You know, he's still helping kids train in NXT. You know, Shawn's kids. You know, I know Dusty Rhodes was like the guy back in the day when he was around, but now Shawn's kind of taking up that mantle, and you know, we're getting some great superstars out there because of this man.
Shawn does his classic back into the turnbuckle spot, and it makes me wince every single time.
Into a clothesline.
Oof. It's brutal.
Lots of great reversal into reversal segments and sequences.
For sure.
That are so exciting. Like, I never expect seeing this kind of style in this era. And it just goes to show how little I know about this era. Like, you had absolute banger matches like this one.
The only complaint I have about this match is that once you got into second gear, it got a little repetitive because Davey Boy would go for a rest hold, and then Shawn shows some life, and then another rest hold, and then Shawn shows some life, and then another rest hold.
Definitely, I understand that, but again, it just, I think playing devil's advocate, it just builds the comeback even more.
Poor Bulldog goes to the top rope,
slips.
Not sure what he was going for here, like a headbutt.
It looked
or
like he was
splash.
going for a flying, some splash or headbutt.
He completely whiffs it, slips on the top rope, and I'm so happy that the crowd aren't assholes here and don't chant like, you fucked up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. This is why it's kind of refreshing to look back on this where the crowd is a little bit more innocent and a little bit more, I don't want to say naive, but they're buying in more.
They are. And I noticed that after he whiffed it, Shawn went up to Bulldog and like told him what to do, and I think he told him to go for like a superplex to like redeem himself.
Yeah, and it was a great superplex.
Oh yeah, Bulldog redeems himself by hitting
absolutely
a picture perfect superplex on
Mistakes
Shawn.
happen, and Owen also trying to save it, saying it was Jose fucked with the ropes, even though he clearly didn't.
He wasn't anywhere near it. In one of my favorite spots of the match, Bulldog attempts to do a back suplex onto Shawn, but midair, Shawn counters it into a crossbody.
That fucking looks really painful.
Kyle, do you want to do the Vince one too?
1, 2, 3, no.
The intensity is at an all-time high here, boys. The crowd is hot. These men are going back and forth. Shawn attempts a Hurricane Rana, but Bulldog powers into a power...
Oh, that power slam fucking hit.
1, 2, and no.
Counters into a power bomb.
You can see just the way how Shawn hit that fucking ring. It looked tough, man.
And then right after that, Shawn whips Bulldog into the corner, and Davey looks like a fucking bouncy ball going off the ropes.
Davey fucking launches his body to the ropes. He does a Luigi side B into the ropes.
Absolutely mental. Finish of the match, boys. It's time for the HBK special. Flying clothesline.
Kip up,
scoop slam, and then, of course, the diving elbow drop.
And seeing that gear... that gear do those moves.
Kyle loves Shawn's tights. After the elbow drop, it's time for some music. Some
tunes up the band, brother.
Tunes up that motherfucking band. Sweet chin music, the British Bulldog. 1, 2, 3.
3, and then Owen pulls Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, so
he's like, that was 2.
Like, what? Earl counts to 3, but Owen pulls out Mr. Perfect at 2. Not sure what they were trying to go for here. It was kind of awkward.
I think Owen, I was really confused at first, but I'm trying to make some sense out of it. I think Owen wanted Mr. Perfect to interrupt, or
I guess,
or I don't know. I'm just trying to find some sense of it, because Owen is really mad at Mr. Perfect for not counting 2.
And I guess regardless, Shawn gets the dub. Shawn retains. He's still the WWF champion. Post-match beatdown happens.
Owen says, fuck that.
Oh, yeah. Owen gets in the ring. And
Owen is so good, man.
Owen goes in the ring, goes after Shawn. Shawn takes it to Owen. And then Davey goes after Shawn. There's a little awkward spot here where Shawn puts Owen in a figure 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes Davey and he pins him. But, like, dude, you won the match.
Yeah,
why are you pinning him?
Yeah, I didn't really understand that. I think it was just out
of instinct.
He just read British Bulldog. He just read him.
But it's 2-on-1. Who can save Shawn? Why? Ahmed Johnson, of course.
New IC champ.
New IC champ. Ahmed
rub.
Johnson comes in for the save.
Good rub for Ahmed.
Great rub for Ahmed. But no, Vader comes in. It's 3-on-2. I wonder if there's a warrior.
Hogan. I would like to think the crowd was cheering Hogan,
even though
they know. Well, I get PTSD because every time I see like baby faces in peril during this time, God needs to show up and lay the smackdown on some people.
You think of Hogan?
I think of Hogan saving the day. That's what I think.
But
no, worse.
Unfortunately, it's 3-against-2. Vader's about to give Shawn the Vader bomb, but then Ultimate Warrior comes in for the save, and he's a brick shithouse clotheslining everybody and
crowd goes wild.
Yeah, the crowd is going apeshit. We shit on Warrior, but the crowd was happy. This was supposed to build to Shawn, Warrior, and Ahmed versus Bulldog, Owen, and Vader at the next pay-per-view. Unfortunately, Ultimate Warrior no-showed a bunch of events, got fired, and he was replaced by Psycho Sid. Sid came back to the company.
It's funny how such a brain-dead character like Ultimate Warrior, that it seems like the character doesn't know anything but just fighting, but the most important thing was fucking a piece of paper.
Yeah.
That chingle and the pingle. Well, fuck you, Warrior.
Great way to send the fans home happy. Baby faces are on top. It was a great ending, I think, guys. Boys, King of the Ring 1996 is in the books. Overall, what are your thoughts on this pay-per-view? Mario?
I think it's fine. There's some fun moments. Obviously, the big highlight is the 316 moment, but, it's funny because watching this back, I forgot how quick it was, how much of a squash it was, so luckily it's not the main event. We get a great main event here. Great opener. Steve's opener was probably the better of the 2 matches.
Awesome.
It was one of the better matches of the night, absolutely.
So I think all in all, if I was to give it a wrestling's real rating, it'd probably be I'll give it a nice solid 7 out of 10. It's a good show.
7 sounds fair. That's fair. Kyle,
that's fair.
What do you think?
I mean, I can't really give it a score, but I will say that I really enjoyed the show, and like I mentioned before, I enjoyed it way more than I expected to. And that alone is an accomplishment. And especially when you're looking at these pay-per-views in the lens of now, all this shit we've absorbed as wrestling fans, looking back on it, you still get a lot from it. And you witness history and stars being born. And I suggest this show.
This was such a fun time, guys, and it really put me back at the time. And 96, this whole new generation era, it's looked down, as kind of like the weaker points in company's history, but this is a time I became a fan, and this is the time that I cherish the most. Obviously, the Attitude Era was better, Ruthless Aggression was great, but this time, man, I had so much fun going back to watch this show, and I would love to go back and cover another pay-per-view around this time.
I usually like watching the pay-per-views that I'm not extremely familiar with, where I can get a new opinion on.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I'm with you.
New kind of like fresh look on things.
For the month of July, not sure what we're gonna do.
We're never sure.
We're never sure. We'll probably throw up a poll, or we'll figure it out after. We're gonna have tacos after this. Woo! Thank you guys again for all of your support, all of your continued support. We really, really appreciate it, guys. Go ahead and like this video. Be sure to comment. What's your favorite King of the Ring memory? It doesn't have to be from this show. It could be any King of the Ring. We'll catch you next time. As for Wrestling's Real, that's my brother Kyle. That's my brother Mario. I'm Andy. Remember, wrestling is real.
The fourth prestigious King of the Ring, Stone Cold Steve Austin, an incredible victory.
So if I take a Cialis, I'm getting a blowjob or I'm getting a piece of pussy and I die, it was a good death. Let me stop right there. It will be an even better death if I die after I come.
He is Stone Cold.
Come on, that's not necessary.
See what I did there? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Shit.